Kolby. This is Keaton Everett with ABC, going over your pitching video from camp. I'm going to go through and talk a little bit about pitching, talk a little bit about mechanics, and what you're doing well, some areas to work on. We basically need to get ourselves in a nice, consistent position. We need to be able to consistently repeat our delivery. We got to make sure that we're using our lower half to generate velocity, to generate power. So we're basically going to look at how you start, what you're doing over the rubber, where's your balance point, where you're breaking your hands, how your hips are traveling down. Then we're going to break it down and look at your foot strike. So right when that left foot hits the ground, what does your body look like? And we're going to look at, how are you finishing. So overall, pretty solid, all right? You have a good foundation of your lower half. You're using your legs. This is just a few things that you can kind of work on back here over the rubber that will help you out a lot, getting consistent and just repeating your delivery. All right. So right off the bat, we're going to go and look back and look at how you're finishing or how you're starting. So basically, all right. The wind up, the biggest thing is we got to limit movements. We don't want huge movements back. We don't want huge movements forward. All right, one of the things that will make you a little bit more efficient and a little bit easier is if we start with this foot almost, maybe half a foot length down. So we want to make sure that where you pivot in this dirt is already there. So you don't have to take this foot, lift it up off the ground, and then plant it right in there. It's already in a position where you can just pivot. Lifting it up and having to move it so far forward is really hard to get to a consistent spot. So it's going to be really hard for you to recreate that movement every time. So just get it to a point where you're right here. So just have it looking right there. So just have it over that rubber. I know it's tough sometimes with those dirt mounds. They get really, really dug out. But just make sure that you're not using so much movement with that right foot. All right. So through your delivery, the biggest thing that I want you to watch is you can see how you come up and forward and then back down. Okay? So what we want to try to do is you look like a big kid. We want to try to make sure that this head stays tall and follows a solid straight line forward. All right? So the reason that you pop up is because you're already coming set back here, your knees kind of bent. So I just want you to try to get to a spot where you're already here. I don't want to see a bounce up and then down. Okay, we don't want to see that. Here and then here. So try to get to a spot already in your motion here. I'll go and tag this where you pop up at. So I want to see you here. All right, and then just back. So back through this position right here. Just stay up a little bit taller. All it is just right here. Your head's up here a little bit. All right. So all that does, that's just inefficient. That just kind of causes timing issues. It makes it hard for you to repeat your delivery. So the biggest thing that's going to help you too is we want to stay over this back leg a little bit longer. All right. As this leg's starting to come up, you're going to start seeing that everything is kind of moving forward. So you're coming up here, you can kind of see that head still going forward, and then you kind of shift that posture back. All right, we want to try to get away from big postural changes. All right, we want to try to stay a little bit taller. There's going to be a little bit of bend, that's fine, but just try to stay a little bit more neutral with that upper body. All right, that's just something that will help you be more consistent. All right, you are doing a pretty good job at getting your hips going down the mound. All right, you can see that they're kind of leading in front of that foot, which is good. Not just a matter of time and everything. All right, and your ball does drop far on your glove. All right, so make sure that you're coming set, tucked in your stomach area a little bit more. So all we got to do is just get rid of all this space in between your body and get those hands together. It doesn't have to be right on your body, but somewhere kind of a little bit more neutral, so your glove isn't out over that foot. We don't want to see we don't want to see this out over that front foot. We just want to see it closer to the body. All right. So So through your delivery, all right, with the exception of this, everything else is looking pretty good. At this position, you know, I'd just like to see a little bit more over that hip instead of that knee. So here you're kind of over that hip, or that knee, we just kind of want to see you over that hip a little bit more, all right? And that's just consistency that'll get you a little bit more power, all right? So other than that, you know, you're seeing you're really striding down the hill, which is good, all right? One of the things that I want you to look at is that you rotate this left side and this left hip at the same time. So you're going to watch your foot. Watch what your foot's doing. I'm going to make a little bit bigger circle. So watch what your foot's doing here. You can see it get out, and then you're just going to see it start hinging open. So right here, you're hinging open and losing your hips, all right? So you've kind of gone from a really good closed-off position to kind of popping open at the end. So now you're kind of opening up a little bit early, all right? And all that is you're just opening up that left side a little too early, all right? So going back, you know, at this position, to help you stay closed, just try to keep this front elbow a little bit more closed, all right? And what that's going to do is that's going to keep this back shoulder a little bit closed more too, because as you're going to watch, you're going to start seeing from foot strike. So here's foot strike. You're going to see that these are rotating at the same time, all right? Oops. So you're going to see that we're going to see the shoulder and this hip all rotate at the same time. We want to try to get to this position right here, and then have your upper body in that position we were just talking about back here. So now this upper body's back here, so you're getting what's called that torque. You're getting those hips going towards the plate, but your upper body still hasn't rotated yet, all right? And that's just something that will come as you get a little older and stronger, but just to focus on it. So just stay farther back, meaning farther back in your hips, meaning your weight. I'm having a little trouble with these circles, man, bad. But, there we go. Sorry about that. So meaning just stay back farther here. So you can see just that left foot pops open, and now everything's kind of opening up early. So just keep that. The biggest thing is just to keep that left shoulder closed longer, all right? And that's going to help you stay closed longer with that upper body. We just don't want that shoulder and that hip to rotate at the same time. We want hip first, and then that shoulder to follow through, all right? But arm angle wise, you're in a good spot, all right? You're not seeing extreme angles here. You know, a lot of times kids will have their elbow up here, or they'll have it really down low with a really extreme angle. So everything's looking good there. It looks like you're in a good healthy spot. Now it's just a matter of keeping this front shoulder closed, which is going to give you more power too, but it's going to take less strain off your elbow and shoulder over here, all right? So just keep that front shoulder closed a little bit longer, and try to, you know, draw a line from the middle of your foot down, and try not to step across that line. Just try to step on it, or even a little bit close, and that's going to keep your hips in a lot more powerful position to drive through the ball. Okay, so here's your release. You're getting pretty good at getting that head and chest down over that front foot, but you can get a little bit more, and you're going to be able to get a little bit more by staying longer through that back leg. You can see your foot coming off the ground there. We want to try to see it drag a little bit on the ground, and then drive farther through that front side, and then you're going to start seeing that head get almost down over that front foot somewhere. So you're going to pick up about 6 to 8 inches, you know, and just finish more through those legs, and just use more of those legs, but you have a pretty good finish too. So all it is for you is just a matter of using those legs, keeping everything closed longer. Keep that left shoulder closed longer, keep that left hip closed longer, and just drive through the mat, and everything else can kind of go from there. So just, you know, how you're starting, start those hands, break those hands, get that timing where those hands are breaking, drop your hands down a little bit, and you're going to be good to go. So hopefully having your awesome season this year. Hopefully you had a great time at camp. Thanks for coming out. We look forward to seeing you again with ABC.